What is up, everyone? Wacka here, welcoming you for the next week of the WPF Magikarp League. I'm actually recording this on a Tuesday, I think, and the reason is because we had to get an extension because my opponent got called into work the day that we were supposed to battle, so we figured we'd get an extension for Tuesday, and it worked out just fine because I'm not doing too much today, and I figured I might as well have more time to think about our team, and I'm glad we did because this team was a lot different before. I think I was going to bring Cinderace, like a Scarf Cinderace with Gunk Shot to Oko Tapu Koko. But I'm pretty glad that I didn't bring Cinderace because it would have been a horrible bring here. I believe I also had... not Scrafty. Who did I have? Maybe that was it, 'cause I don't think I tried bringing Slowking or Garchomp at all to this. Garchomp in theory, I think could have worked like okay here, but I figured his team is way too fast for Garchomp to really set up a Scale Shot or Swords Dance on. So I just left it in the back. So today we are facing the Milwaukee Stantlers, coached by Eli, and he is repping the Mega Gyarados, Tapu Koko, Hawlucha, Chansey, Scizor, Swampert, Flygon, Sceptile, Hitmonlee, Charizard, and Mr. Rime. And here I was actually really scared of Mr. Rime coming because Mr. Rime, like, Choice Specs trick could kind of screw up some of my team. And I also didn't really have a Mr. Rime, like, switch in. I more just had to deal with Mr. Rime with whatever was in. Unless it was Tangrowth, because Tangrowth cannot deal with Mr. Rime, like, at all. And he decided to bring Coco's, Swampert, Lucha, Scizor, Gyarados, and Hitmonlee. I decided to bring our mix of Articuno, Tangrowth, Alcremie, Torn, Electros, and Metagross. Basically, most of the battle is gonna be like Tangrowth, Torn, and Eel, like weakening his team, and maybe if Metagross can get in, try to like either set up rocks or do something. And I believe this is the only week of all the weeks I brought Metagross that I haven't brought it as my primary, like, not like berry user, I guess. Like, usually he's running like Shuka or Culber, but I decided to run leftovers this week. So anyways, getting into the match, I decided to lead, let me turn off the music and put it in dark mode. I decided to lead Electros because I figured his best lead's probably Coco or Swampert, because Lucha and Hitmonlee want the electric terrain to kind of do anything, and he could lead Scizor and like bullet punch some hole in my team somewhere, but I figured he'd probably lead Coco, so I decided to lead Electros. And Electros's Assault Vest max HP, so it's meant to tank basically every hit from Coco. I think it takes like max 27% from Dazzling Gleam. So he actually clicks Toxic here, which is weird because he's like Toxic Scarf. He actually said that his Coco is a little bit screwed up, but I think it was that he had Thunderbolt over... he was deciding between U-turn or Volt Switch, and I think he just forgot to change it to Thunderbolt. Which kind of sucks on his end, but I don't think it really mattered too much in the end because I don't think Thunderbolt really threatened Tangrowth or Electros too much, although maybe it did, I don't know. So he decides to go Scizor here, and I just decided to Volt Switch to get momentum, and I figured I might as well just go Torn and like click Heat Wave, because whatever wants to come in doesn't want to take a Heat Wave. And I can easily take a Banded Bullet Punch, which I was surprised, because I figured he'd bring a Defensive Scissor. Because Defensive Scissor kind of annoys a lot of my team, like Tangrowth, Alcremie, Articuno, Metagross, Electros. None of them really want to take like a knockoff, because my Mons really want their items in this match. Especially Alcremie. I think Metagross is the only one that I think could afford to lose an item. So we did this, and he goes Hard Cocoa, which is fair. I wasn't sure if I would outspeed, but I'm pretty sure here I just like hard switched into Electros, and he decided to just Volt Switch. I think here he went right into like Hitmonlee. Yeah, I feel like this is later in the battle, but I guess it was now. And I decided to just kind of stay in with Electros because I didn't really need it too much for a Coco that wasn't like HP invested. I figured it wouldn't be that bad. So he goes Swampert on a Torn, which is weird because I can just kind of U-turn into like Articuno and threaten a Freeze Dry. I figured he'd probably switch out here, but I'm pretty sure he decides to just get up his rocks. No, he goes right back into Hitmonlee as I Freeze Dry it, and it looks like the Hitmonlee might be Salt Vested. I don't know actually, I didn't calc it. Or do I think I found out the item, because it definitely was an Electric Seed. So here he decides to go Gyarados on the Leech Seed for Tangrowth. And I don't know why he really did that, because I could have easily just Giga Drained like half a Salt away. So I decided to click Giga Drain. He goes Coco, that takes like 47%. But I didn't want to kill Coco with Tangrowth just yet, because I really wanted him to not go Lucha just yet, because I really need Lucha to come out last. So he decides to go Gyarados, and I'm pretty sure Earthquake maybe could have killed me, but he decides to Dragon Dance, so I just decided Thunder Punch, which did a lot more than I thought it would. But I guess it's because Electric Terrain is up, and then Gyarados isn't like that bulky on like the defensive side as opposed to like special defense. So Thunder Punch into Bullet Punch did kill. I decided I might as well go for Bullet Punch because at his range he was at like 10%-ish. I kind of figured that at that point Bullet Punch does pick up the KO unless he's like max HP. Because I'm pretty sure max speed, max attack Gyarados like takes 10 to 13% from Bullet Punch. So I decided to play with the roll, and if it didn't work out, I could just go Articuno and click U-turn. And it was pretty simple, and then go into like Tangrowth or something. Because Articuno in this matchup is really only there in case he decided to bring like his other mons like Sceptile or Flygon. In theory, Articuno really loves to just like click buttons on this team. But it's kind of hard to keep an Articuno because he could literally just go like Coco or Hitmonlee and like tank a hit. I was running Air Slash though. So I do pick up the KO on Gyarados, and I believe he goes Coco? No, he goes Pert. I think this is where he gets up his rocks. So I just decide to go Articuno. And I think I U-turned because I figured he would go Coco, Hard Coco, to get the terrain back up. So he doesn't do that, and he stays in on Swampert and clicks Ice Beam, which did a lot less than I think it should have. I want to say it was like max SpDef Swampert, or like max defense Swampert. I don't know the calc off the top of my head, because I did figure it out at some point. That does look like max SpDef, because I feel like U-turn probably would have done less. So here I think he goes back into Hitmonlee to take the hit. I was deciding on if I wanted to like Air Slash or not, but I decided to just Freeze Dry because I could easily go into Tangrowth, which I should have done the first time. I don't know why I didn't. I could have probably savored the Electros. So Tangrowth kind of misses the Leech Seed, and then for some reason he clicks Knockoff, probably thinking I was going to switch in like Articuno or something, or Torn. But I just didn't really care. I figured Tangrowth can kind of deal with the Hitmonlee, and then Protect into High Jump Kick will just kick himself in the face. So here I know that Coco can only kill with like Dazzling Gleam. And even if he did, it gives me a free switch into like Alcremie or like whatever I want to go into. So he goes Lucha, and I go into my Alcremie, which is actually a red card max defense, and I don't think I actually needed the red card, because the only thing this Alcremie had to do is kill the Hawlucha. But I think red card might have been actually the play, because then it makes him go into Swampert. I'm pretty sure it's random whatever it brings out. And then I Dazzling Gleam. And I figured I'd probably outspeed, because I'm pretty sure it's like max Spidef Swampert. And Giga Drain almost picks up the KO, and I figured he probably can't KO me back with like Earthquake. So here I kind of just set up on the Swampert, trying to get all the health back I can. And I try to let him get some leftovers HP back, because if he goes back into Lucha and just revenge kills me, then I kind of just lose. Although Torn, I think at that point can outspeed and Air Slash. But I didn't really want to play with like the Air Slash missing and stuff like that. So I decided to just stay in, and then he goes Lucha, and he goes Acrobatics, which is a sizable chunk actually, and I just decided Dazzling Gleam to finish the Lucha off, because I know Tangrowth can probably finish off Coco, or even Metagross could probably finish off Coco. But Alcremie ends up living the Dazzling Gleam, and then hits back with its own Dazzling Gleam and KOs. So Alcremie is doing the work this week. I actually had, I believe, Mystical Fire for Scissor, but I didn't have to click it. Metagross had Iron Head and Rocks, which I never clicked. I'm also pretty sure Metagross is like max HP, max attack. Electros was max special attack, max HP. Torn was, I think, almost max speed, just to outspeed Lucha if it wasn't like Unburden boosted. Because I'm pretty sure Unburden goes away after you switch out. So if I could force out the Hawlucha and then like sack Alcremie if I had to, then Torn just comes in and kills Lucha. But I'd have to sack probably like Metagross or Articuno first. Excuse me. Tangrowth was max HP, max defense as usual. I don't really think the Assault Vest set on Tangrowth does a lot of work, especially against this team, because his team is just full of physical attackers. And I think his best special attacker is Mr. Rhyme, which I'm not going to stay in on anyways. So yeah, and then I'm pretty sure I had Knockoff. Articuno is max HP, max defense as well, with the Freeze Dry, U-Turn, Air Slash, and Roost. Which didn't really end up doing too much. My Articuno is kind of like a Gyarados, Lucha, Swampert check, but it never just really got the chance to do anything, which is okay. It was kind of there as like a backup in case stuff went wrong. Alcremie was max HP, max defense, just so I can live in Acrobatics from Coco. Originally, I was actually max HP, max special defense, so I can deal easily with Mr. Rhyme, which I'm glad I didn't do, because then I kind of lose to Coco after a Swords Dance. Because all Coco had to do is get up one Swords Dance with his Unburden boost, and then he can just click Acrobatics and Rock Slide or High Jump Kick against my whole team, and I just lose. If he wasn't running the Rock Slide, I'm pretty sure Articuno could live and kill back with the Freeze Dry. But I didn't want to risk it. So I had to run this Alcremie set, which is the only Mon that can actually take on, like, Lucha on my team. I was pretty surprised. But, I don't know. Maybe max defense, like Tangrowth lives acrobatics, but then Tangrowth doesn't do anything back, so yeah. That will be the match, and I think next week we face the Canterbury Grambles, coached by Forrest. His team, I don't remember what his team is, like, off the top of my head, but if I think if we win against him, then we're pretty much guaranteed playoffs, because right now we're sitting at 6-2. But I could easily lose like the next 4 matches, especially because I know the people in my division are really, really strong, and their teams match up pretty well against mine. So I guess we'll see how that pans out, and I'll see you guys later.